The stars burned cold in the void above Earth, their light filtering through the atmosphere to glitter on the hull of the Zykarian scout ship. Cadet Vrix, a wiry, four-eyed recruit from the Zykarian Academy of Interstellar Reconnaissance, adjusted the controls of his cloaked vessel. His mission was simple: abduct a human, study it, and return it unharmed. It was a rite of passage for Zykarian cadets, a test of nerve and precision. Vrix, however, was not known for precision. His instructors had called him enthusiastic but sloppy, a critique that stung his gelatinous pride. Vria's ship hovered over a quiet suburb in Ohio, its scanner sweeping for a suitable target. The criteria were clear: an isolated human, preferably asleep, to minimize resistance. The scanner beeped, locking onto a small house at the edge of a cul-de-sac. Thermal readings showed a single occupant, sprawled on a couch, heart rate steady. Perfect. Vria's mandibles twitched with excitement. "This is it," he muttered, his voice a low hum through his translator. "My ticket to full operative status." He activated the teleportation beam, a shimmering column of light that pierced the roof of the house and enveloped the sleeping figure. The human materialized in the ship's containment chamber, a glass-walled pod designed to keep specimens secure. Vrix scuttled to the chamber, his four eyes blinking rapidly as he studied his prize. The human was large, broad-shouldered, and clad in a worn flannel shirt and sweatpants. A tangle of dark hair covered part of his face, and a faint snore rumbled from his chest. "Robust specimen," Vrix noted, tapping his data pad. "Likely a laborer. Low cognitive threat." He initiated the standard protocol, a mild sedative mist to keep the human docile, followed by a neural scan to assess its brain activity. The mist hissed into the chamber, and the human stirred, muttering something about tacos. Vrix ignored it, focusing on the scan results. The data was odd: high neural complexity, unusual stress resilience, and a surprising spike in adrenaline potential. "Must be a glitch," Vrix muttered. He wasn't about to let a faulty scanner ruin his mission. The human's eyes snapped open. They were sharp hazel, and entirely too alert for someone who'd just been gassed. "Where the hell am I?" the human growled. Sitting up, his voice was deep, with a slight drawl that Vria's translator flagged as Midwestern aggressive. Vrix froze. This wasn't supposed to happen. The sedative was rated for humans up to 300 pounds, and this one couldn't be more than 220. Remain calm, Earth creature," Vrix said, his translator struggling to sound authoritative. "You are a guest aboard my research vessel. I am Cadet Vrix of the Zykarian." "Research vessel?" The human stood, his head nearly brushing the chamber's ceiling. He cracked his knuckles, the sound like snapping twigs. "Buddy, you picked the wrong guy to play ET with. Name's Jake Malone, and I don't do guests for weird bug aliens." Vria's mandibles quivered. "Bug? I am a Zykarian, a superior species. You will comply with my examination or face." Jake lunged, slamming his fist against the glass. The chamber shuddered, a hairline crack spiderwebbing across the surface. Vrix yelped, skittering back. "Containment breach risk. 12%, his data pad screeched. Jake grinned, showing teeth that looked unnervingly predatory. "Open this thing, or I'm going to redecorate your spaceship with my fists." Vria's training hadn't covered this. Humans were supposed to be docile, easily intimidated. His data pad had profiles of humans cowering before Zykarian probes, not threatening to punch through reinforced glass. "Calm yourself." Vrix squeaked, activating a secondary sedative. The mist thickened, but Jake just coughed and waved away like it was bad cologne. "Nice try, bug boy," Jake said, pacing the chamber like a caged bear. "I've been tear gassed at protests worse than this. You got anything stronger, or are we going to talk?" Vria's four eyes blinked in unison. Protests? Tear gas? His scanner hadn't flagged this human as a combatant. Desperate, he pulled up the profile again. The data flickered, revealing a new detail. Jake Malone, 34, former Marine, amateur MMA fighter, part-time mechanic. Vria's gelatinous heart sank. He'd abducted a warrior. "Okay, human, Jake," Vrix said, forcing calm into his translator. "Let's negotiate." I need to complete my examination. You cooperate. I return you to Earth. No harm done. Jake crosses arms, his biceps straining the flannel. Examination? What, you gonna probe me? Heard about you aliens. Not happening. No probes, Vrix said hastily. Just a scan, maybe a tissue sample. Standard procedure. Jake snorted. Standard for you. Maybe? How about this? You let me out, and I don't turn your fancy ship into a scrapyard. Vria's mandibles clicked nervously. He couldn't fail his mission, not when his promotion was on the line. But this human was a problem. The containment chamber wouldn't hold forever, and Jake's fists looked like they could dent steel. Vrix needed a distraction, something to buy time. He remembered a Zykarian tactic for calming hostile species. Offer food. His ship had a replicator, programmed with basic Earth foods from intercepted data. Surely that would pacify this beast. Very well, Vrix said. I will provide sustenance. What do humans eat? I have pizza? Tacos. Jake's eyes narrowed, but a flicker of interest crossed his face. Tacos, huh? Fine. Make 'em quick and no funny business. Vrix scurried to the replicator, inputting the command for tacos beef standard. The machine hummed, producing a tray of what looked like tacos but smelled faintly of burnt rubber. Zykarian replicators weren't perfect with alien cuisines. Vrix slid the tray into the chamber through a slot, watching as Jake picked one up, sniffed it, and took a cautious bite. This ain't tacos, Jake said, grimacing. Tastes like gym mats and regret. He dropped the taco and kicked it back through the slot. You try to poison me, bug? No poison, Vrix protested. It's an approximation. My replicator isn't calibrated for her. Jake grabbed the tray and flung it against the glass. The crack widened. Approximation, my ass. You got one more chance to let me out before I make my own door. Vria's mind raced. He couldn't teleport Jake back without completing the mission, but keeping him contained was impossible. Then he remembered the emergency protocol. If a specimen proved too dangerous, neutralize it with a memory wipe and release. But the wipe required physical contact, and Vrix wasn't about to get within arm's reach of Jake Malone. An idea sparked. The replicator could produce a sedative-laced item, something Jake might ingest without suspicion. Water, maybe. Humans loved water. Vrix programmed the replicator for a bottle of Earth Spring water, laced with neuroinhibitor. He slid it into the chamber, holding his breath. Jake eyed the bottle, then unscrewed the cap and sniffed. You're not slick, bug. This smells like your shitty tacos. Before Vrix could react, Jake poured the water onto the chamber floor, where it hissed and bubbled, eating through the mat beneath his feet. Nice try. What's next, poison candy? Vria's panic spiked. The neuroinhibitor wasn't supposed to corrode anything. His replicator was malfunctioning, and his mission was spiraling into disaster. Jake, meanwhile, looked amused, like a cat toying with a mouse. You know, Jake said, leaning against the cracked glass, I'm starting to enjoy this. You're a terrible kidnapper. Vria's pride bristled. I am a Zykarian cadet. I have trained for... Yeah, trained to suck at this, Jake interrupted. Here's the deal. You let me out, I don't break your ship. I might even let you keep all four of those creepy eyes. Vrix weighed his options. Releasing Jake without data would mean failing the mission, but keeping him contained risked the ship and Vria's life. He glanced at the corroded mat in the chamber, an idea forming. The mat was synthetic, designed to absorb spills, but the neuroinhibitor had broken it down into a sticky, edible-looking mess. Maybe human, Vrix said, his translator dripping with false confidence. I offer a peace gesture. Try the mat. It's a Zykarian delicacy, activated by your water. Jake raised an eyebrow. You want me to eat the floor? You're dumber than you look. It's not the floor, Vrix insisted. It's a nutrient layer, very prestigious. Jake stared, then shrugged. Fine, I've eaten worse. He scooped up a handful of the gooey mat, sniffed it, and took a bite. Vrix held his breath. The neuroinhibitor should knock him out in seconds. Jake chewed, frowned, and swallowed. Tastes like ass, he said, then collapsed like a felled tree. Vree hooped, his mandibles clacking triumphantly. He'd done it. The human was out, and he could finish the scans. He opened the chamber, dragging Jake's limp form to the examination table. The scans revealed fascinating data: heightened muscle density, rapid neural reflexes, and a liver that suggested Jake could outrank half the Zykarian fleet. Vree was so engrossed he didn't notice Jake's fingers twitch. When Jake's fist connected with Vria's face, it felt like a meteor strike. Vree flew across the ship, crashing into a console. Sparks flew, and the cloaking system flickered, revealing the ship to any nearby human radar. Jake stood, wobbly but furious. "Nice try, Bug," he slurred, the sedative slowing him but not stopping him. "Now I'm pissed." Vree scrambled for the teleport controls, his vision blurry. He hit the button, and Jake vanished in a flash of light, reappearing on his couch in Ohio. The ship's alarms blared as Vree struggled to stabilize the cloak. He'd gotten his data, but at what cost? His ship was damaged, his pride was bruised, and his data pad now read, "Specimen assessment. Extremely dangerous. Recommend immediate promotion for surviving encounter." Back on Earth, Jake woke on his couch, head pounding. He glanced at the floor, where a half-eaten taco lay next to a bottle of water. "Weirdest damn dream," he muttered, grabbing a beer from the fridge. Above, a cloaked ship limped back to the stars, its cadets swearing never to abduct another human again.